gonna pick it up. Should we sit down? There's another paper as well. Okay. So you're doing that part and that part. There are numerous methods we used to target our audience of 15 to 24-year-olds. These were researching films with a similar audience, such as Attack the Block, and carrying out the audience's research by using a vox pop. We do think that this allowed us to reach out to our audience. We asked them many questions which would serve as ideas for producing our opening sequence. It would relate to the themes and issues that we wanted to demonstrate, such as the negative impact on social networking websites upon young people. We carried out an audience research by using a vox pop. Question 3 of our vox pop was very useful as it taught us the reasons why young people take drugs, smoke or consume alcohol. Most of their responses suggested that it's like a form of escapism, where they can escape from their troubles. We use this idea in our opening sequence as the protagonist finds it hard to accept the behaviour of her boyfriend. We feel that this makes the film more enjoyable for them, as it is a real and common issue. Another good question we asked was what type of British social realism films have they enjoyed watching. The general indication from this question was that it needs to be easy for them to relate to in terms of their needs. This meant that we needed to show issues in our films which happen among young people in their daily life. In our production, we explored the issue of the internet. The protagonist faces issues on the social networking site Facebook. This tells us that the overall film aimed to be representative of their lives. As the respondents highlighted, it had to be recurrent issues that actually affect young people, such as drugs and alcohol addiction. An example from our production would probably be when our female protagonist is denoted smoking a cigarette at 1 minute 50 seconds of our sequence. We demonstrated a popular issue of underage smoking. After we constructed a vox pop, we updated our audience research. We gained opinions from our fellow students in our class. They helped critique our overall production in terms of technicality, and a lot of them enjoyed the use of diegetic sound. However, they particularly enjoyed the use of non-diegetic sound, such as the voiceover and the soundtrack. This indicated that they indicated that it works well and complemented the narrative. We do agree with this, as the soundtrack was supposed to captivate the audience's attention. We think that this worked as the beat was very slow, which sort of signified the cycle of monotony, and this reflects the main character's unsatisfied feelings with life, such as her unresponsive boyfriend and her comfort to smoking. Similarly, the voiceover had a slow pace. The speaker's depressing tone signifies that she's unhappy. At the start, immediately she states, "What you see is what you get." We wanted to make the film's narrative straightforward to the audience to understand. It emphasises that our sequence has intentions to be realistic and serious. Overall, we thought that the sound was a great success. Other good aspects were the key scenes. The laptop scene was commended as it was seen to be very relevant. We wanted to connote the internet threat upon young people, like one respondent pointed out. This made the theme that we were trying to explore very clear. It portrays the dangerous stimulations on the internet. An example in our film would be when Mary, the protagonist, becomes very attached to social networking, and as a result, we can denote in the scene that she has a sad expression.
On the other hand, some of these audience members did not address a few concerns.
They did address it.
Oh, they did address. Sorry.
Yeah.
Some students recognised that the titles did not work so well. We sort of agree with this. The titles did create a representation, as the typography was an urban style.
However, it can be seen that the titles disrupts the narratives at times, like one respondent said, as indicated. For example, within the 50 seconds of our video, when she opens the laptop, it cuts to the title when disturbs the
disturbs the continuity.
yeah. Therefore, it distorts the verisimilitude. It all affects our
like it just affects the continuity really.
yeah.
Like it's just this break and this pause, and it really does make it sort of not fluid really.
Therefore, in the future, if our work was to improve, we'd try to present the titles in a more fluid way, visually. This would mean that maybe the titles should appear with the video clips so it does not disturb the sequence. Another criticism was that the voiceover could have been slightly developed. We felt that this is true to some extent. In a way, the lack of speech on the voiceover was because we didn't want to give too much away of the narrative, as it can potentially give away the plot. However, we would have tried to add a bit more ambiguous statements by the speaker. This would keep them interested with the developing scenes, and in the future we would try and work on these issues